at it once again. For some reason, LinkedIn was not connecting, but I just had to remove it and add it back on there. Welcome to another episode of Just in Time for Coffee. I actually just left my coffee in the other room. I may go get that here in a moment. But today, just wanted to move a couple quick rounds of sticky note shenanigans. Been collecting and writing down sticky notes, putting them on my computer to help me, stay motivated throughout the last 10 years of doing this thing. And what I'll do is I'll randomly select sticky notes, talk about what I wrote down and kind of what that meant to me. So we'll just jump in here, do a few rounds, and then kind of get going. Coming back from a few days off. So definitely got to get back into the grind here this morning. So I'm just going to go. These are the older ones. We'll do a couple maybe of the older ones, maybe a couple of the ones that are not color coordinated, and then maybe we can do the ones that are color coordinated. All right. So let's see here. All right. So we'll start right off the rip here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Booyah. It says ask for referrals. Really important. I hear tons of recruiters, on various podcasts, on LinkedIn, and what have you, talk about how it's so important to get referrals. So it's a constant thing to be reminded of. And I like to put a sticky note in front of myself to remember, because even if the person's not a match, you can always ask for a referral, and even if it's 1 out of 10 people who give you a referral, asking for referrals, one thing that can separate you from everybody else, and also generate, a lot more activity. So make sure you ask for referrals. Same thing on the client side too. Hey, do you know anyone? Hey, we're not going to be partnering. Do you know anyone that might also be experiencing some hiring challenges? I know you might be connected in your community. So that's an opportunity to get some referrals too. So really important. Let's see here. Oh, well, this one right here, what makes you valuable? So this is a question that, I was trying to think a little bit about when I'm selling my services, and you're doing business development. It's important to think about what makes you valuable. I often get, I've already got a few firms that I work with. Why should I work with you? Right. So, you can there's a couple different ways of going about this. You can sell your services and kind of tell them why you're valuable, or you can, ask questions, hey, I'm not sure you do need me, just wanted to ask a few questions to see if this is an opportunity to help or serve. Right. But I put on here, I do the work. I am the expert. Sometimes you need to be reminded, right? Especially if you've been doing this job for more than a year, you know what you're doing pretty much, right? You know how to do the work, and chances are, you might be an expert. What's that old saying? If you've been recruiting for longer than 6 months, you're in the top 10%, right? So there you go. Let's see here. What do we got now? We got, exploratory conversation. I like to do this because this is from Lou Adler. Lou Adler, I believe, right? So an exploratory conversation is less of a commitment, right? I mean, sometimes, folks think when you're going on an interview that there's a huge commitment with that, right? But if you're open to an exploratory conversation about this position, right, it sounds a lot less of a commitment. And the reality is, like, they don't have to take a job that's not going to be a good fit for them. And we're not going to try and, encourage them to take a job that isn't going to be a good fit. So we may encourage them to have an exploratory conversation, though. So there you go. That's really important. We'll move over to some of maybe the not color coordinated ones. Why don't we pull one right from the middle of the stack here? Huh. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, here. This one says list of hiring managers. So this is something I was trying for a little while. I was just building lists of hiring managers for Call Blitz. Basically just putting 20, 30 people on a list, phone numbers, and just dialing, once a month, calling a list of hiring managers just to touch base. especially, people that you've communicated with before. It's really important too to keep an eye on who you're talking to, especially in healthcare. The healthcare recruiting world's small. Literally yesterday while I was conducting business development, I'm calling for some dental offices, and I bumped into somebody, and they're like, "Oh, so and so is handling that." And I was like, I know that name. That name sounds awfully familiar. And sure enough, it's an old recruiter that worked with someone that I worked with 10 years ago. And I remember. So, and we're connected on LinkedIn. So, I hit her right up immediately. So get yourself a list of hiring managers. This one might be controversial. Says HR equals human roadblock. So this is just a little thing that we say as recruiters, agency recruiters, if you will. The role of HR really, I mean, is to keep things in house, mitigate risk, and do a lot of the employee based stuff, right? Whether it's, onboarding, hiring, orientation, that kind of stuff. That's really, really, really part of their job. So anytime that we're trying to, sell our services to human resources, you have to understand like that's their job. So you have to know kind of what you're up against, if that makes sense. And then oh yeah. Okay, so this one here, it's not always about what you say. It is about how they feel, right? So tonality is really important, especially if you're going to be making phone calls. You want to make sure that you're, communicating a friendly tone. At least I like to. So that's really important. Let's see here. Oh, developing a good candidate sequence. It's kind of like T-ball. Oh yeah, I like that idea, that analogy. So a good campaign. I'll even rewind a little bit further than that. Setting up, your work in advance, even if it's the day before, a campaign, a sequence, what have you, drip marketing campaign, setting that up, in advance makes coming into work every day kind of like playing T-ball. The ball's set up and ready to go. All you have to do is just come in and smash that thing. So, be prepared. Either plan to fail or fail to plan, right? Let's see here. One more. Oh, one more. It says one more. I'm like, one more. Read that book, The Power of One More, with Ed Milet. Big fan. I think that there's some magic that happens when you're ready to tap out and you're like, let me just give it one more try. Whether it's, one last phone call before the end of the day, one last email before you head out to lunch, one last, little goodbye to, your family member before you leave. Those one more instances can make a world of a difference, right? There's tons of magic there. I wrote "Just Keep Swimming." We love the old Dory saying, right? When you meet adversity, it's important to remember to just keep swimming. And then again, look what popped back up again. Ask for referral. Ask for referral. Ask for referral. Ask for referral. These are separated by years. I know that for a fact. Yeah, these are from when I first started doing sticky notes, and these were probably from the last year or so. The color coordinated ones are going to be probably from about a year and a half to 2 years ago. So some downtime I had, I ended up color coordinating them. Oh, here we go. We'll just kind of go over this real quick and then we'll wrap it up, just because I know everybody's got a lot of work to do today, including myself. Let's see here. So these are the 4 pillars of Stoicism. Really into Stoicism, have been for the last couple of years. Number 1, wisdom. Number 2, courage. Number 3, temperance. And number 4, justice. Wisdom's, the difference between knowing the difference between good and bad, understanding, having some navigation in your life. Courage. Courage is all about persistence and resistance, right? Pushing through hard times and also resisting the urge to either do or not do things, right? And then standing up for what's right too. It's a really important pillar within Stoicism, especially when it comes to courage. And then you've got for temperance, feeling enough, right? Knowing that you're doing your best, doing the best you can, and that you are enough. Um, Responding appropriately, not getting, too irrational, if you will, right? Really keeping a level headed mind, right, is really part of temperance. And then without excess, right? So trying to live your life without too much, right? You don't need everything, right? There is enough. And then justice. We're not just out for ourselves, right? I think that's really important. Treat others with respect and dignity. It's really important. The reality is, like, if you want to have a real equitable life, you got to treat everybody with respect. And with that, I will bid you guys adieu. Anyone who's listening, anyone who joined the session today, I didn't have the live chat open, so I can't see anything. I appreciate you guys for coming. I hope you have a wonderful day. Next week, I am going to be running the Disney Princess Half Marathon, so I will not be live again, but I'll be back the following week. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I'm always available if you need anything, any questions, comments, concerns about hiring, sales, mindset. You just need a battle buddy. Give me a call. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.